Okay, so I have a pretty good video today. How to get a girlfriend, how to actually get a girlfriend. I think there's a lot of guys right now throughout the world who really desire this. I think that there's a lot of either lonely men or single men who would like to have a girlfriend. I think there's a lot of men in general who would like to have companionship. But sadly, I don't think most guys have enough dating experience to understand how to do this. Okay. And in a social media world, how do you separate yourself from all of the other guys? Because listen, there's a bunch of guys probably in her inbox who have a six-pack or who have a fast car or who have tattoos or make a lot of money or have a good hairline or are 7 feet tall or whatever. Okay. How do you actually get a girlfriend? How do you separate yourself from all of the other men? This is something that's going to take me a little bit of time to explain, so just hear me out. The way you get a girlfriend is by communicating through the phase that builds up slowly week by week. The way you get a girlfriend is by communicating when she communicates with you. I'll say that one more time. The way you get a girlfriend is strictly by communicating when she communicates with you. And this is why most men can't get a girlfriend, is because a lot of men initiate communication, and they initiate communication frequently, and they're sending text messages or they're doing things in general that demonstrates not only he is interested, but you're also demonstrating that you don't have a lot of options. So I'm going to explain to you in this video how to get a girlfriend, and I'm also going to explain to you how to make sure that a woman desires to keep seeing you, and I'm even going to explain to you what to do and what not to do. So let's dive in. So you meet a woman, and I don't care how you meet her. Maybe you met her on an app. You probably met her on an app because it's 2025 right now. You probably met her on an app, which means you've probably done the work or you've done some type of work in life to make yourself attractive enough where she would want to swipe right in the first place. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you met her at a park. Maybe you met her at a sporting event. Maybe you met her at a party. Maybe you met her through a social circle. Maybe you met her downtown at a bar. I don't really care how you met her, but you met her. Okay? This is very important to understand. When you get to that first date, you have to fit into her category of attractiveness where she would sleep with you on the first date if she wanted to. I'll say that one more time. You have to be placed in the category where your overall vibe and your overall demeanor is attractive enough to her. Okay, because keep this in mind. Okay, keep this in mind. You might be a 10 out of 10 to one woman, but to a different woman, you might be a 6.5 out of 10. Well, what does that mean? That means you have to be probably an 8, 9, or 10 to her. So this is the one part that almost comes down to just Mother Nature. Mother Nature will decide the attraction level, and Mother Nature will decide her interest level on that first date. But in order to get a girlfriend, when you get to that first date or when you first meet, just who you are as an individual, the clothes you're wearing, the vibe that you have, the vocal tone in your voice, your facial structure, everything about you, you want to be placed in the category where she would sleep with you on the first date if she wanted to. Now, it doesn't mean you have to sleep with her on the first date, but at least you're in that category. Now, before we can even dive in and talk about how to act, we have to talk about why this is important. The reason why this is important is because you want to be in a position where there is real, genuine desire. And what that means is, even if you guys have a great date, even if there's great chemistry, even if there's great energy between you two, the problem that you'll run into if you're not in this specific category for her, okay? The problem you run into is if she comes across a different guy that she's naturally more attracted to on like a romantic level, on like almost like a primal romantic level where she's more drawn to a different guy, a lot of times you'll always be in second place. And the problem is you can't have a relationship or you can't have a girlfriend if she naturally doesn't categorize you in first place. So before we even get to how to act for the weeks and the months leading up to actually having a girlfriend or dating or getting her to wanting to be your girlfriend, we have to talk about this one piece, because this is the one piece that's drastically overlooked. A lot of guys, they go out on a few dates with a woman, but the problem is the guy is constantly staring at his phone, trying to formulate the right text message and hoping that everything works out and hoping that she likes him. And the problem is, like, you're probably going to go on a lot of dates where the woman just doesn't view you as a 9 or a 10, and that's okay. You're not going to be every woman's type. So the first part, okay, of getting a girlfriend, and this piece requires a bit of luck. It requires a bit of luck because naturally Mother Nature will take care of the attraction and align you with somebody that views you as an 8, 9, or a 10 to her. Well, that's going to be the green flag now, that if you decide to communicate with this woman and you keep communicating with her and she keeps communicating with you, at least you're placed in that category where you know she's very attracted to you. And this is important because as you guys get to know each other on a long-term basis, you want to make sure that that element of real romantic interest that would or could lead to the bedroom is there. If that's not there, it's not worth continuing to pursue that relationship, because despite you two being great life companions or having good chemistry, if you were to get to know each other, there's a missing element of romantic desire, and you don't want that to be missing. So I'm glad we got that out of the way. You go on that first date or you start seeing each other and she's placed you in that category. If you have accomplished that part, congratulations. We're now moving into the second step to this. Now, the next piece to all of this is you have to have some patience and you have to have an extended time horizon of how long you can stretch this out without needing companionship or without needing commitment. So this is the entire backbone to the relationship right here. If you are the one needing or seeking a commitment from her, this will never work. What happens over the course of weeks and months of going out on dates and seeing each other and slowly communicating day by day, getting to know each other more, is her interest level is rising. As her interest level is rising, she starts to view you as a solid option, which means that what has now happened through her getting to know you is you've displayed yourself well, you've shown that you probably have a bright future, you've shown that you are competent and smart and you're probably going somewhere in life, and because she sees that future potential in you, okay, so keep in mind, not only in the beginning does she view you as the type of guy that's attractive enough that she would sleep with if she wanted to, but now she sees future potential in you. Listen closely. It's going to be extremely hard for a woman to want to stick around and be with you if she doesn't see future potential in you. And the reason why that future potential piece is so important is because hypergamy is always watching. And since hypergamy is always watching, she wants to make sure that she is finding the best guy that she can possibly find, which means that she cares about her future most. That's not good or bad, that just is. She cares about her future most. She wants to make sure that if she were to go the distance with you and have a long-term relationship with you, you are smart, successful, competent, going somewhere, probably going to be a hard worker, and making the relationship fundamentally solid because she feels safe when she's around you, which means you've done a great job conveying the right type of masculine essence or energy when you're around her. Okay? The secret to all of this is you have to need communication and commitment far less than she does. In fact, you have to get to a point in life where you don't need a woman to commit to you at all. You have to get to a point where you really don't care. Because what you're going to find is majority of the women that you're going to date have already dated other people. Okay, majority of the women that you meet are already probably going to be more experienced than you oftentimes when it comes to dating. So what you have to remember is it just doesn't matter. You have to just kick back, you have to sit back and not care. Now, what happens if you need commitment far less than she does is she's going to desire to reach out and talk to you. The reason why she's reaching out and talking to you is because she wants to know what you're doing. And she wants to know what you're doing so she can start setting stuff up for either future plans, or she's hinting at the fact that she wants to see you again. Now, the secret to all of this, okay, you manage your emotional state by not getting reactive through that cell phone. And she has to see for a period of 1 month, 3 months, 4 months, however many months that you guys talk, she has to see that no matter what she does, you do not get reactive, you do not act needy, and you do not act like you need companionship, which creates a dynamic where she now needs or wants companionship from you. Let me give you a couple examples of what this looks like where guys go completely wrong. Let's say you're dating a woman and you're slowly getting to know each other, and let's say it's 7 o'clock at night and she sends you a text message saying, "Oh my day was so busy today. So exhausted and tired, ! Can't wait to sleep." Maybe she sends you something like that. The reason why a lot of men act needy and they don't even necessarily notice that they're subconsciously communicating that they need communication and that they are acting needy in the first place, most men don't even realize they're doing this. What most men do is they would look at that message and they would type something back like, "Oh, really? Why? ? Why was your day so hard? What happened at the office?" Right? And they start to go into the conversation and they're engaged. They're engaged with the sentences. They're engaged with the words. Okay? And what happens is, even if she likes it in the moment, when she looks at it and reads it, the problem is every single time she sends you or most guys messages like that, she instantly gets a reply. She gets a guy who's willing to communicate. So what women learn in a quick hurry is that a man who acts and appears and is pre-selected and is used to attracting other women doesn't always feel the need to communicate. And this allows her emotions to work in your favor. So what younger guys would do, or what guys who are less experienced would do when they see that text message, is they go right into it. They go right into it and they're going to start communicating for the rest of the night. And let's say they're texting back and forth 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times in a row. An hour and a half goes by. They're having conversation back and forth, 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock, and then all of a sudden, silence. And he sends that last message, and maybe he was even setting that last sentence up with a question mark, so that way it's natural that she would keep communicating, and then he's left with silence, and he noticed she doesn't. And then the pullback happens. And then 18 hours goes by and he puts you still there. What's wrong? Everything good? Hey, haven't heard from you. And now once again he's revealed his interest level more. These little issues and these little mistakes right here is why all of your relationships fail. These little issues right here, once you've made yourself an attractive man, is why you can't retain the interest of the woman that you want to retain the interest with. So an attractive or pre-selected man knows how to act extremely nonchalant. So even me, for example, as I get older, okay, if I would see that message, "Oh my gosh, work was so busy, so exhausted, can't wait to go to bed," I might just wait a little bit and give the message a heart, and that's it, and then I'd go to bed. Because I don't really care either way. Like, I don't need to reply to it. And you realize that when you get older, like most sentences that anybody asks you, doesn't matter who it is. Could be your dude friends that you have, could be your girlfriend, could be your mom, could be your dad, could be anybody. Most sentences are just not worth replying to. And then she sees that and she goes, "Huh, he liked the message, or he gave the message a heart, but he doesn't feel the need to reply. He doesn't feel the need to keep communicating." And now she naturally, what happens if she likes you and if she has you in the category where you are her best option, keep that in mind, she has to have you in that category where you are her best option and you are the type of guy that she has genuine romantic desire for. The type of guy where she would sleep with you within the first date or the second date. Just very high interest, preferably the first date. Keep that in mind. You want to be so attractive to her that she looks at you and she's like, this is the type of guy, just the way this guy carries himself, just his attitude, his vocal tone, everything about him, you want to make sure is there. So now let's look at all the boxes that you have checked. Okay, number one, she views you as the type of guy that she has real romantic desire for. That's important, and that has to be there. Then from there, you're displaying that you don't need companionship. You're displaying that you don't need commitment. It's almost like a vibe that is so nonchalant. It's like you're still communicating with her when she decides to communicate with you. It's like you're right there, but you're not necessarily initiating a whole lot of contact or a whole lot of communication. It's almost like you carry yourself with this vibe where it's like, hey, I'm attractive. I know I'm attractive. I know that you would like me. So because of that, I can kind of sit back and just see how this plays out here. That's the vibe and that's the attitude that you have to have. This is going to be the only way that she really would want to be your girlfriend. Because now what happens is you've set a dynamic where she is asking what you're up to. So let me give you an example. Let's say you would just heart that message and give that message a heart. You don't feel the need to reply to it. Well, guess what happens? What happens now is a lot of times her emotions work in your favor, where now she sends you a text message and she says, what are you up to? What are you doing? Hey, what are your plans this weekend? Or she might even give you a call or a FaceTime. Now, the whole key to all of this, let me explain to you why this is the dynamic that you want and that you need, and why this only works if you're doing this one thing. The reason why this is the dynamic that you want and that you need is because if she is not really adoring you, you have to understand that she'll always have more options than you. So if she doesn't really just fall head over heels in love with you and adore who you are on like a personality level and everything about you, she will just oftentimes hop on social media or hop on a dating app and go find more attractive men. Because for whatever reason, you're not an 8, 9, or 10 to her. Okay? Now, this only works, okay, if you are doing the things needed to solidify a solid future for yourself and you are increasing your status, you are increasing your SMV, and you are going somewhere in life. You have to think about this for a second. Women can find an attractive guy anywhere. Maybe he's tall, maybe he's good looking, maybe he has, a good hairline, maybe he, whatever. But in order for a woman to be with you and to stay with you, she has to see that you're going somewhere. So through this entire time, okay, the way that you want to actually carry yourself and the things that you want to do to get to this point where you don't feel the need to reply to every little message is you have to get that invested in your career or your purpose. That's going to be the only way, and I'm going to explain why. What most guys do is they fake their value. So they just will choose to not reply to the message because they want to apply a strategy or a game. That is not the mindset you want to have. You want to be so about your stuff in life, you want to be so invested in what you do and who you are, that you start to realize that you don't even have time for all of these sentences that people try to pull you into. That's what has to happen. If you can get really centered on yourself and you become so about your goals and you want to win at life so much, okay, you need to look at anybody. You need to look at a famous athlete. You need to look at a famous musician. You need to look at a famous actor. You need to look at somebody with status who has put in a lot of work to get to where they are. Do you think that they have gained either global recognition or became the best at their industry or what they do by replying to every little message? By replying to every text message and making time to call a bunch of people? Absolutely not. It requires relentless discipline and focus. I do not want any of you spending your time using a bunch of tactics by just going out and partying more or thinking that, I'm going to try to demonstrate more value by going on a date with a different woman or something like that. No, you don't need to do any of that. You need to fortify yourself into who you are by having a future that you're planning, by building career, by building your lifestyle, by building who you are. That is how you actually start to realize that the things that you were giving attention to, you don't need to. And then what happens is you'll actually start to realize that all of the previous women that you dated, you'll start to see your mistakes and you realize that a lot of those situations and circumstances were not even worth giving attention to in the first place. And when you put all of those keys together, that is how you get a girlfriend. Every single girlfriend I've ever had in my entire life, there has been romantic desire that I've described on the first date. Every single girlfriend that I've ever had, there has been real genuine desire where the woman is constantly following up with me and FaceTiming me and seeing what I'm up to. Every single girlfriend I've ever had has been a situation where she likes who I am from the inside out, and she would want to align her future with me. If you don't have those types of traits as a man, it's going to be virtually impossible. Okay, and I'm going to let you in on a little secret. You can't fix any of this with a new diamond necklace, some new earrings, more tattoos, and getting a bigger bicep. You're just not going to. You see a lot of guys trying to get this part down with a cooler social media profile picture. If you're doing that, that is absolutely going to fail. The stuff that I am telling you on this video is the internal traits of the man. The internal traits of the man cannot be faked, because women are constantly trying to sniff out your incongruencies and your insecurities. She needs to see that you are absolutely relentless about getting centered on your goals in life, and she needs to see that you are absolutely relentless on winning at the things that you actually find passion in, and winning at life and actually winning at your goals. She needs to see that you're going somewhere. If she doesn't see that, there is absolutely no reason why she would want to align her future, or if you two were to have kids together, she has no reason to want to keep going the distance with you. Because a woman can find any guy on the street to go get some food with, or go watch a movie with, or go do whatever with. She can find a guy doing that any day of the week. So what she's really looking at, if she wants to align her future with you, is she needs to say, is this guy going somewhere? Is this guy able to say no? See, that's another big thing too. Most guys, since they don't have a big enough future planned, they don't have big enough goals, they're not aligned on their career and where they want to be, they just say yes to everything because they have time to do everything. Well, if you have time to do everything, she's going to try to pull you into everything that she can think of. Miscellaneous tasks that you didn't have any plans doing that day, or and most guys, they just say yes to all this because they don't have anything better to do. You need to be so about building yourself that she sees that this guy is built differently. And this is the internal traits of a man that I don't see many guys have, because it's most guys don't even know that this is the level you have to get to, which is why in yesterday's video I told you most men severely underestimate the amount of work needed in order to actually get a girlfriend, or in order to actually make themselves attractive enough where a woman would want to be with you. Because you have to actually look at this for what it is. This is not supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be easy, because if a woman actually is going to desire you, or potentially build a family with you one day, or be with you, that's one of the most important things in life completely. Who's around you? Of course she's going to want to find the best fit for her. So if anything in this video made you mad or frustrated, that was not what it was intended to do. The reason why I made this video is because you have to understand that you develop value by focusing on yourself. And the only way that you do not become needy and weak and needing commitment is by having other things going on. And I'm not just talking about the latest house party or going downtown. I'm talking about your future. You need to actually be so about what you're doing. You take yourself as serious as a professional athlete with whatever career or whatever field you're in, or whatever your purpose is. That's how serious you take it. Complete discipline. If you don't have some of these stoic masculine characteristics, it's going to be hard for her to want to keep dating you, because you're easily replaceable. What's not easily replaceable is who the guy is on the inside out, and what his internal personality characteristics are like. That is how you get a girlfriend. Okay? Keep that in mind. I know that there's a lot of you who want a girlfriend. I know that there's a lot of you who would like to have your amazing companion by your side. What I have found, the more guys I've coached one-to-one, the more guys I've talked to, the more guys I've worked with, a lot of times it doesn't even come down to your other perceived options. A lot of times it doesn't even come down to you having an abundance of options. It comes down to her slowly finding out who you are and liking you. And if you don't get to that point where she genuinely likes you, and she likes where you're headed in life, and specifically she likes your mindset, it's going to be almost impossible to keep that relationship together, because you're not demonstrating the masculinity characteristics needed. And that right there is how you get a girlfriend, and it creates a safe and stable dynamic where she looks at you as almost like her rock. She's like, this guy can't be moved off center. He's strong from the inside out. Not only is he strong on the inside, but he's strong on the outside. I feel like this guy could protect me. Those are the emotions you want her to feel. And the only way you do that is by getting really serious about who you are, knowing who you are, and building that type of character. If you like this video, hit the like button. Take this even a step further and join the community that I built. I'm helping guys learn, understand, and master the language of women. I created an entire community so you have a process to help make your dating life even easier. That's why I built that. Go and check that out. Hit the like button, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.